Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn about writing your first DAX query or writing your first DAX expression. DAX, which is data analysis expressions, is a formula expression language that is used in analysis services, Power BI, Power Pivot, and Excel. So if anyone asks you where is DAX used, you can say that it is used in analysis services, Power BI, Power Pivot, and in Excel. The DAX formula include functions, operators, and values to perform advanced calculations and queries on data in related tables and columns and tabular data models. So DAX is a very important thing in Power BI because it helps us in creating our own formula, our own calculations. It helps us in creating calculated fields. So there are functions in DAX, there are statements in DAX. This is the official page of Microsoft. I will share a link to it. So we have to learn these functions, these statements, these queries, and step by step we will learn DAX. So suppose there is a list of marks of students. Okay, these are 5 marks of students. If you write a function sum of marks, what happens? You will get the sum of these 5 values. Okay, what if you write, so this is one measure. What if you write if marks is greater than 55, enter pass, otherwise enter fail. Here we are doing row wise calculation, or we are going through every element. This is like a loop. So first it will check if 55 is greater than that. Let's change this value. So is 54 greater than 55? So based on your condition, you will get output. So here you can say in tabular data, row wise calculation will be done. Okay. Let's take another example of financial sample data. This is financial sample data we discussed earlier also in one of our dashboards. And in this data, you have products for, and for every product we have some kind of sales. Like product belong to government, a segment, in which country the product was sold. But here you have units sold and sales price, which is giving you gross sale. So unit sold and sale price of 1 unit. Okay, which is giving you sales. So what if we try to calculate it with the help of formula? Because the sales value that is coming here will be calculated on the basis of formula. Okay, so everything that you can do there can be calculated here. And so here we will connect financial sample data with Power BI, where we will connect the financials table. When you are in Excel, go to table design, there you will see the table name. If you have given any table name, then that table name will appear in Power BI connection, and then you can simply load it. Okay, so you can check if everything is correct. You can simply load, and this will load the financial data for us. Here we can name it something like financial sample DAX and save. Obviously here we are explaining it in English. And now go to Power BI. We have this URL where we have explained everything. And before starting anything, you have to understand that in Power BI with DAX we can create calculated measure, calculated columns, and the entire calculated tables. Calculated measures, calculated column, and tables. So calculated measure are single values like sum of marks. average of marks. Calculated columns are done row wise. Okay. For example, calculate unit price multiplied by uh, total units, you will get total cost. And calculated tables are new table. Like for example, you applied some filter or condition like select all the records of a particular example. So for example, let's say we have these two columns. We will insert a column in between, and in this column, if we will write G2 multiplied by E2, which is sales multiplied by unit sold. So you will see we will start getting the gross sale price. Okay. So this way you can, this is happening column wise. So this is a calculated column that we have created. Okay. We will learn how to create that in Power BI. So this is how you can calculate a column or create a calculated column. What if you want to find uh, total sales, like what is the total revenue? So you will sum sales, okay, and it will give you the total revenue. That is a single value, right? That is not a column or a table, but in a cell you will get a single value. For example, sum of J2 to J10. So we have selected a range, and in that range, whatever values of sales are coming, we are summing them or finding their average. So these are all single values, okay? Like count them. So when you have these single values, this is like a measure you are creating, a calculated measure that you are creating. Okay. You can find minimum, maximum, average, sum, standard deviation, these type of single values, which we use in card visuals. Okay. And then, for example, we have the entire data, and either through slicer, or you can simply say we want for the product Montana. Now the entire data of 700 records is broken into 93 records, or is now 93 records, and this is also a table. We can copy the table and put it somewhere. So this is like a calculated table based on the condition. Obviously here we have simply applied the condition, but calculated table will be used a lot more, okay, in more advanced examples. So that's why you will learn what are row context and filter context, calculate DAX function, difference between sum x and sum function, year to date, month to date function, same period last year, previous month, DAX. When you will expand DAX function on official website, you will see in aggregate how many functions are there, in date how many functions are there. Obviously, going through all of them will not be possible, but we will cover all the important functions in this series of DAX on our channel. And here you have, uh, let's say we want to calculate, let's show you some example. So here you have these fields that you had in your data, okay, the Excel file. From here we'll drag a card visual, and in that card visual we will drag sum of sales. This will show us the total sum of sales that we were showing there. So in a way, Power BI is automatically doing this for us. Okay, this is like a measure that we never created, but a calculated measure is created in the field. So what we can do more is we go to modeling tab. From here we can insert a new measure. This is where we can write tags. So in your modeling tab, you can insert new column or a new table. Okay. So your modeling tab is important. So in the modeling tab, click on new measure. This will give you this type of bar where you can type things. Okay. So, and when you will create a new measure, it will appear in your fields. So create a new measure. Here measure is the name. So you can change it to anything that you are creating, like total sales, for example. Here we are using simple for sum formula, the function sum. So see here, it is written total sales is the name of your you know, measure. Every measure will have a different name, like average sales, total sales, count of sales. Here fx is written, which is stands for formula or function. So function sum x, function summarize, all these functions help us in analyzing our reports, creating calculated values. And inside sum, you will put some field here. The field that we will put here is sales. Okay. So we can create sum, and from here we can, because the table name is financials here. So, and for financials, we can write its sales column name. So this is how you use structured references in Excel. Let's try to select one more time. Yeah, this time it is selected. Now when you will run this, you will see the same value. Okay. It is showing you in million. It was showing you in million. So here also financials is the table name and sales is the column name. Okay. And inside square bracket you write the column name. So it is like this: sum, then parenthesis, inside parenthesis you write table name, and inside square brackets with table name you write the column name. And here a new measure total sales is now added in the fields. Okay, this is a calculated value, that's why calculator icon is appearing here. So this is a measure. When you will drag, you will see the same value. So this is how you can simply create a measure or create your first measure. Similarly, we can calculate different other type of measures. So you have units sold here. Okay, so sum of units sold will give us total units sold. There is a units sold or total units sold, and you will calculate sum of, and similarly financial units sold. So when you will create that, you will see that obviously you can go to card visual and give it a shadow or enable its border, copy it. This is something we did it in the dashboard part. So here when you will drag sum of units sold, and you know, we can increase the category label, we can increase the category label for both card visuals. So this way you can create sum of units sold. Okay, which is all being done with the help of calculated measure. So similarly, you can see that you have, when you will go to transform data, you see that there is no index column here. Okay, so you open power query editor, there go to add column, and when the index column is missing, that means for every row id something like that is missing. Okay, so we can call it order id, which is missing here. So with the help of power query editor we can create it, and you can start it from 0 or start it from 1. You can see index column is now created, and we can drag it. So obviously the index column deserves the first position in our table, so we will put it there, and don't forget to close and apply. Everything will load and you will see the index column. Why are we doing index column? To calculate the total number of orders, because index column has the unique value for every row. So if you will count, number of values in index column, that will give you total number of orders. So this way we will show you use of count function. So you will use count, and here in count you will put uh, obviously that index column. Okay, so you can see count a, count x, count blank. We will learn all of them later. And here we will put financials, and You will see all the table values here. Okay, so you will see that there are many such functions like which are very similar. We also have a Power BI course where we have explained all DAX functions in detail, and Udemy, it is on Udemy. Most of the times it is on offer. So I will provide a link to this course so that if you want to learn everything in detail, you can go there. Otherwise, you can keep learning here. Here in count, you will just put your index column, hit on check icon, create a copy of the visual, and add the new value that will appear here, count of orders, which is, yeah. So here we have 700 count of orders, which you can see from the row also. 701 means one row is for header. So this way you can simply count orders and total units sold and everything. And this is a simple way of using or writing your first DAX query.